What's the name of the ref?
Paul will tell you shortly after it's gone. Beth?
As one that we haven't had yet, and that's almost impossible because all the things we've experienced this season, you could write a book about it, as I said earlier, and every time I think, now there's nothing that can happen anymore that didn't happen yet, and but we saw it today, a goalkeeper on the floor and then conceding a goal. But the end result is, of course, positive that we were able, in a game where not everything, where we of course concede a goal that you prefer not to concede. You never prefer to concede a goal, but not in this way. But we kept on fighting till the end and even scored the 3-1. So bad luck we've had many times this season. Usually that ends up in us dropping points, but not today, and that's a very positive thing. If you just look at the performance of both teams, I think Palace deserved to come back into the game because they were playing a good game. They were close to scoring goals. The margins were really small. But another injury, of course, after a win. So yeah, it sums up again our season.
How is Mo? He looked to be sort of taking his time going off the pitch. Yeah. Is there a chance that might be his last appearance?
Yeah. We don't know. So that's the best answer I can get, because if I say there might be a chance, then it's probably all the headline is there might be a chance. So we simply don't know, but what we do know is that the season is in 4 weeks, it's over, I think. 4 or 5 weeks. So yeah, that not a lot of games are being played, so we have to wait and see how his injury is, if he's able to return to play. What I do know about Mo is that he's taken throughout all these years so good care of his body that he will have the minimum time required to recover from an injury. And let's hope for the best, that he's available in the last part.
Mitch? Right.
Alexander Isak's first Premier League goal here at Anfield. So your reaction to that and to his performance, and also to have him and Florian scoring together, must have been something you would have liked to see all that.
Yeah, my first reaction would have been, if you wouldn't have said the last part of your question, did anyone ever thought we would say this 8 or 9 months ago, end of April, to say that Alexander Isak scored his first goal for Liverpool at Anfield? That sums up this season, of course, a lot. That an unbelievable striker has had such a long time with injuries, not being available to play, and now scoring his goal. But it's really nice that he scored one, because when we signed him, we knew he could score goals, and that's what he showed today. And many times this season we've had better chances than we had today. But yeah, that's why it's also too important to have players that can score also goals like this, because that can give you a big lift in a game, and that's what we've missed for 8 or 9 months because he wasn't available. And when he was available, as we all know, he was available, but wasn't at the level he can be.
James?
You must have been delighted how Freddie stepped up for you today.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Yeah. I think I've said here many times, telling you guys that we've created a lot of good chances, and then the first one of the other team went in. Now I cannot say that today because they've had enough good chances and enough moments that they were really close. But I think the moment of the game was, of course, the lead up to our 2-0, where Freddie made a big save. Otherwise it would have been 1-1, and 10 seconds later it's 2-0. These are the current margins in the Premier League, and today they were on our side, as so many times they haven't been not on our side.
Paul Joyce?
When he went down in the second half, what did you want the right? What were you expecting the referee to do in that situation? Because it wasn't obviously a head injury.
No, but the referee only stopped the game for head injuries at this time? Amount of times that players were pretending that they're injured, not only hand injuries, and the referees buy into this. It's become a tactic in football. And I've said many times over here, and someone can find 1 or 2 moments that we dived, and because we're not, we say this in a certain way in Holland, I don't know how you say it over here, but so we are not we're not known for this, but maybe once or twice this season we've done that. But in general, even today, the referee gave a penalty, which was completely correctly overturned by the VAR because there was no contact. Why was there no contact? That's an important question to ask. Mo jumped over the tackle, where I can come up with many players and many examples and many clubs where they leave their foot on the floor and then the tackle comes in and then there's contact and then it's a penalty. I think as a referee, it becomes time that they know who they are refereeing. So this same incident happened to us against Man United. When McAllister was on the floor with a head injury, Michael Oliver, the referee, keep on playing. We couldn't see the goal, 5 stitches. And amount of times, even today, that the referee stopped the play. So yeah, you can probably feel with my big frustration about this. Because it's already because people always talk about the Paris Saint-Germain game. Yeah, there was no diving, there was no pretending, there was just fair playing football. And the amount of times that games have been stopped because players pretended to be injured, that has happened so many times that I can't believe if you are refereeing Liverpool and there's a goalkeeper on the floor that you don't stop the game. The only reason I could come up with is that the referee, the moment he saved the ball went to a different position. He looked at that, and the next moment he looks up and he sees that the goalkeeper is on the floor. That would be only fair explanation why he didn't stop the game. Otherwise, I think he should have stopped the game.
And the last one?
Well, to pick you up on that, Oliver Glasner's take is it would be dangerous for football if referees started stopping the game as soon as a goalkeeper goes down, could make a save go down, and then there's no second phase of play. Maybe the goalkeeper start.
I know that is going to happen because that's what I constantly see in the Premier League or everywhere around the world. So since we know that the referee can stop the play if there's a head injury, I see a lot of players that have been touched over here taking their head, and then the referee always falls into their trap. But since we are not there yet, there's not been a tactic yet used by making a save, stay on the floor, because I see there's a difficult situation coming up, because the situation wasn't difficult. The ball fell 30, 40 yards out from the goal, I think. So that's not a smart tactic then to go on the floor as a goalkeeper if you don't have an injury, is it? No. And the player that took the shot might say, I wasn't aware of the fact that the goalkeeper was on the floor. But if one of my players tries to take a shot like that, if he thinks there's a goalkeeper in goal, I would ask him, that's not the smartest ball to play. Maybe you can better cross it in or have a bit of a harder shot on target. So I do agree what he's saying. So if from now on, if a goalkeeper is on the floor, the referee stops the game, I can be 100% sure that there will be teams in the future who are going to use that tactic. I'm sure about that. But today no one has tried that yet. So 10 minutes before, Pino was on the floor. We were going for a counter-attack. Stop. There's a player on the floor. Was no head injury. Was body. And he stopped the play. But another game, another referee decision. Yeah, that is... that's also part of our season, isn't it?
Thank you, everyone.